Hey guys, how's it going? I've used the iPhone 5S intensively over the past couple days, and I'll give you my full review and thoughts on Apple's latest flagship. So starting off with build quality, the 5S follows the iPhone 5's exact same architecture. It has the aluminum unibody design, it shares the same weight and dimensions as the iPhone 5, and externally there's not too many differences that will separate each phone. It follows the exact same button layout. It has the on and off button at the top, volume rocker as well as a mute switch on the side, the lightning port connector as well as speaker grills on the bottom, and lastly the nano SIM card tray on the last side. The camera has the same 8 megapixel sensor found on the iPhone 5, however has a larger aperture as well as pixel size. Make sure you guys check out my review for the camera, and I have sample and video shots, and I can proudly say this is the best camera I've used on a smartphone to date. The screen size or resolution hasn't been changed, but there's no complaints as it remains the same 4-inch beautiful and gorgeous Retina display found on the iPhone 5. And a major selling point of the 5S was the introduction of iOS 7, which was also recently released, and it finally refreshes iOS altogether, and this is definitely the biggest change to iOS since the introduction of the iPhone itself. It comes with a bunch of interesting new features. You saw that I just changed Siri from male to female, and definitely sounds a bit less robotic. But definitely the major selling point of this phone, or one of the hypes about this phone, was the fingerprint sensor. You saw that I just activated it. It's extremely easy to set up, and you can add more than one. And I've seen people have their cats and dogs even unlock their iPhones. iOS 7 also comes with a completely revamped camera app that has a bunch of new features, and exclusive to the 5S is a slow motion capture capability. There's also a bunch of new filters that you can play around with, almost like Instagram, and each is definitely worth checking out. Under the hood of the 5S are where most of the major changes occur. It has a brand new A7 chip with 64-bit architecture, as well as an M7 co-processing chip to help process all that 3D gaming goodness. Every single game that I ran at the 5S, this thing performed admirably. Almost the best smartphone that I've used in terms of gaming. Everything was smooth, crisp, no sense of lag. And of course, playing fan favorites such as Angry Birds will occur without hiccup. Another huge change of iOS 7 is of course multitasking, which now has been vastly improved over the archaic and old style of iOS 6 and under. Multitasking is extremely simple, easy. You can switch between apps and close them just as easily, and it's almost reminiscent of many Android phones out today. And if we talk about daily tasks, making phone calls, browsing the net, going through different apps, I'm not going to really talk about that too much since almost every single modern smartphone now can perform that without hiccup, and of course the 5S is no exception. But the real question we really want to answer is the iPhone 5S worth buying? For an unlocked 16 gig model, the 5S will run you a whopping $720 compared to the 5C, which we see on the left, which will run $600 for a 16 gig model as well. And those are Canadian prices. I believe they're $50 cheaper in the States. And obviously pricing will be different from wherever you are around the world. But what I'm trying to get to is these phones are extremely, extremely expensive. And if you happen to own an iPhone 5, I would definitely recommend holding on to it. You won't notice too much difference between the 5 and the 5S. Obviously, there's a few different features unless you really want to stay connected and want to be on top of your game for having the latest and greatest tech. For example, having a fingerprint sensor. However, if you own an iPhone 4, 4S, or even a 3G, 3GS, I can definitely recommend the 5S as a worthy upgrade. It's made out of premium aluminum, it has a great chipset inside, the only processor with 64-bit architecture, so you definitely won't be disappointed by its performance, and it's currently the best iPhone that you can get on the market. Anyways guys, let me know what you think about the iPhone 5S in the comments down below. Hopefully you enjoyed this one, and I will catch you guys in my next video.